All right, hey, this is Cody here at just making my first video here. I don't have a video channel. Like, my video channel is literally called Cody Arndt. So there's several Cody Arndts on YouTube. So good luck finding my channel. If you did, you stumbled upon this probably awful video. Terrible quality. It's my first video I've ever made. Just using the basic camera app here on my Acer Nitro 5 gaming laptop. Even though I'm not making a gaming video. So we're going into the Bible here. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. We're going to be covering the topic of head coverings for men and women. It's very brief. There's not a lot of meat and potatoes in regards to the rules and guidelines to it. This is specifically Paul, the Apostle Paul teaching in regards to it, and going back to Apostle Paul's authority on this, and how he can connect the dots. Is he is Jewish. He used to crucify Christians all the time. That was his thing he did prior to engaging in ministry as a true leader in the church, for witnessing the gospel. But he used to, he had really good teaching authority. He was a teacher of the scripture, the Talmud. So going in here, we're going to go over the reasons why women and men wear these head coverings. And my connecting of the dots is mainly the order of creation, and God's authority over us and our authority over women, but our co-authority together as men and women. So going into this, verse 1 of chapter 11, 1 Corinthians, be imitators of me as I also am of Christ. Verse 2, now I praise you because you remember me in all things and keep the traditions just as I delivered them to you. But I want you to know that Christ is the head of every man, and the man is the head of the woman, and God is the head of Christ. Every man who prays or prophesies with something on his head dishonors his head. All right, so we're going to look at that. That's kind of a lot to put in there. It was just basically going order to order to order. And so Christ is the head of every man. So Christ is the top. He's the authority of my head. And man is the authority of the woman's head. Because order of creation, God creates man, and then God takes part of man and creates woman. Going from there, every man who prays, prophesies something on his head, dishonors his head. Every woman who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonors her head, since that is one and the same as having her head shaved. And we'll go down further. Actually, if you go down to verse 13, judge for yourselves. It is proper for a woman to pray to God with her head uncovered. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man has long hair, it is a disgrace to him? But that if a woman has long hair, it is her glory, for her hair is given to her as a covering. But if anyone wants to argue about this, we have no other custom. So really, they say they don't have a lot of ruling authority and specifics in regards to these rules and guidelines. So it's just been a tradition that was kept, probably just due to a more just more man-ruled culture, I guess. But in regards to this, but every woman who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonors her head, since that is one and the same as having her head shaved. Next verse. So if a woman's head is not covered, her hair should be cut off. But if it is disgraceful for a woman to shave her hair, to have her hair cut off or head shaved, she should be covered. So it really goes in the regards to protecting the authority on her head, because she has authority. Her hair down here is actually, it indicates in verse 15, for her hair is given to her as a covering. So God even indicates, I gave the woman her hair to be long as a covering for her head. But it is disgraceful for a woman to have her hair cut off, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to verse 7. A man, in fact, should not cover his head because he is God's image. So to cover our head would be like hiding Christ from our wives, from our kids, family, people. But woman's glory. For man did not come from woman, but woman came from man. But then it goes on in the next verse, Man was not created for woman, but woman for man. This is why a woman should have a symbol of authority on her head. Woman was created without a symbol of authority, but when she puts on her hair, covering it or wearing a head cover, she then puts on the imitation of Christ, as we are the representation of the image of God. So, and it says because of the angels. So that part I just don't understand as much. There's not a lot of detail to it. So, however, in the Lord, woman is not independent of man. The man is not independent of woman. For just as woman came from man, so man comes through woman, and all things come from God. So, essentially, it trickles down. It's really simple. It just says God created man, and then God took part of man, created woman, and that's why woman wears a headpiece on her head to essentially perfect herself to be like a man in regards to authority. So putting a head cover on herself would be like putting on Christ, a representation of putting on Christ, if that makes any sense. Again, I'm not an expert. They even say they're not experts on this. So there's no other parts in scripture that I know personally where this is going to be at. Because there wasn't a lot of rules on prophesying necessarily, unless you go to the Old Testament. And I don't have a lot of background where that's going to be. Probably Leviticus is going to be my guess. Leviticus or Deuteronomy. So, again, thank you very much for watching my first video. I hope that was fun, easy, and have a good day.